Good morning, children. Today we are starting the chapter Oliver Twist, written by Charles Dickens. Now, here I am going to explain you all the chapter first, and then we are going to do question answers from within the chapter. Okay. So, this is where we find the character Oliver Twist and where he grew up. This chapter is about a small boy, Oliver Twist, and how he grew up. And it shows us that even if children grow up in areas which are not very good, they can change themselves and they can form good citizens for our country. So it's a lesson for all of us. When I go through, please follow the chapter very properly. See here, being thrown in dark and corrupt surroundings does not mean one must become bad himself. So this is what is our lesson for the poem from the chapter. Okay. Now coming down, what do we find? Charles Dickens, who's the writer. He was an English writer of the Victorian era and had penned one of the best books ever written and had created some of the best characters in this literary world. So one of his best known write-up is Oliver Twist. Now coming up to the plot. Oliver Twist is a boy who lost his mother just after his birth on the streets of 1830 England. He is taken to a baby farm where he spends the first 9 years of his life under the supervision of Mrs. Mann. He is there taken care of poorly. And as a matter of fact, the whole farm is run the same way. On his 9th birthday, Mr. Bumble takes him to a workhouse for adults, and he remains there for half a year. Now here is his experience there. The boys living there are all underfed, means not fed properly. And in one such instance, when they feel desperately hungry, they come up with the idea to draw lots, and the loser of the game must go and ask for another portion of gruel. Of course, the task was given to Oliver, and he comes forward on the next meal, trembling, and asks for more gruel. Everyone gets upset, and the board that is running the workhouse offers £5 to anyone who would want to take the boy and make him his apprentice. A brutal chimney sweep is the first one, almost to claim him. But at the end, an undertaker working for the parish by the name Mr. Sowerberry claims him. Oliver enjoys a better treatment in his service, although the wife of his owner looks down on him, and whenever she can, she mistreats him. Oliver works as a mourner at the kids. This turning point in his stay and in this book is the instance when one of the much bigger boys, Noah, decides to bait Oliver and insults the memory of his mother. After which, Oliver assaults him. Mrs. Sowerberry stands in Noah's defense and lets him beat the boy. And then she even compels Mr. Bumble and her husband to beat him again and teach him a lesson. Beaten and hurt, Oliver is sent to his room, and that will be the last night he spends there. He escapes the following morning. His destination is London, believing he will find a better life there. On his way, he meets a pickpocket known by the nickname of Artful Dodger. However, Oliver fails to see dishonesty in these boys and accepts the free meals that he is given and follows the boys to the place they promise him. He will be taken care of without needing to give anything in return. The place he is taken to is the residence of Fagin. The place he is taken to is the residence of Fagin, the infamous Jewish criminal who leads a gang of juvenile pickpockets. He gives in ignorance, believing they make wallets, until one day he is taken to the boys' workplace and understands their real occupation. The boys pick a man's pocket and run away, while Oliver, not knowing what happened, stays behind. So when the assaulted man, Mr. Brownlow, turns round, he sees him. Oliver is then caught and brought before the magistrate. But Mr. Brownlow starts having doubts about the boy's real nature, and then is proving to be right about his innocence when the bookseller holder comes up as a witness and clears his name. By this time, Oliver is ill and he faints during the trial. Then Mr. Brownlow takes him to his place and provides him with care. He lives in bliss for some time under Mr. Brownlow's care, until the day that Mr. Fagin decides to bring him back to his residence. He uses one of the girls that lives there, named Nancy, to trick him into coming back. So this is what we have in Oliver Twist's epilogue. Let's just go through it. In the meantime of all these twists and turns, Mr. Brownlow forces the truth out of Monks about who he is and what connects him to Oliver. He finds out that he is Oliver's half-brother, and that he tried to get rid of him in order to get all of the inheritance in his father's will. Knowing this, he persuades the monk to give Oliver his share and later adopts Oliver, with whom they live happily. So, this is the total write up. I hope the chapter is very much clear to you all now, though it's only a small part of it, but still, this is what is the total write up about. Now, we will be doing questions from within the chapter. I'll send you all passages, and you all are going to write down answers of the questions which I send you all. Okay, children, thank you.